Done. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, so I guess I'll just go ahead and throw my headset on, and yeah, we'll start playing. Sorry for that's probably going to be tacked onto the video, even if I like if I do an YouTube upload, because I'm not going to restart OBS right now. So that's probably going to be a crazy bummer for people trying to watch this playthrough on YouTube, of which there are always a few randomly. I don't know how people find me and start watching random playthroughs by me, but people do, and they always tell me about things like this. Hillary Clinton, I don't know if that was your username the last time that I bumped into you, but I do not recognize the username, and I'm wondering if I know you from somewhere. As to if I've been okay, and that's another thing I wanted, was to get Twitch chats somehow up on the Corgi Party. Hey, yeah, I've been okay. So I'm going to restart this because, there we go. I want to make sure I'm on the correct Crucible level and all that. I have been okay. Life has been extremely busy. I've been trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I have been okay. I got sucked in, as far as gaming goes, I got sucked in by Noida for a really long time, and I was playing a shit ton of Noida. So anyway, Steam had a summer sale, and I downloaded, I bought like $150 worth of games, which is more games than I have ever bought at one time in my entire life. I think it was like 27 games total. It's just a bunch of roguelike, turn-based strategy, run-based stuff that I have been meaning to play forever and ever and ever. Plus, I am kind of in the middle of developing a game on Godot using their language GDScript. And so I kind of justified this purchase to myself by being like, well, it's gaming research, kind of, sort of, air quotes, me and my armchair dev. So I'm going to play Peglin. I actually have played a bit of Peglin. I played a bit of Peglin off stream before realizing that I should probably stream it. Peglin is really, really, really interesting so far because it's a game with a ton of potential, but it is super shy on content, and it's early access, but it's only been early access for a year, so you don't know yet if it's going to be one of those games that's permanent early access. It's like typically if devs are like super active, then a game can get out of early access within like a year or two. But it's been in early access for a year, and it looks like they're updating it pretty regularly. And I just dipped my foot into the Discord. And you know what? I should probably put my stream there. So I have played a bit of Peglin off stream. And and my impressions of it so far, I got the email notification. You were like, wow, really? That's crazy. It's crazy that anybody would have email subscriptions to, like, notifications for that, for me anyway. I feel like I'm the least exciting thing to happen ever. Like, like my parents learned that I was en route, you know, and they were like, oh, stuff like that. Anyway, self-deprecating humor aside for a second, Peglin is kind of fascinating because, well, it's got a ton of potential. I feel like it is suffering terribly from a lack of content and a lack of a couple of game systems that I really feel like should have been implemented and just weren't. And so I got really excited in like the first half an hour of gameplay, and then I got really disappointed, and then I thrashed the game a couple of runs, and then I realized I should probably be streaming. And so now I'm on Crucible 2, which is the game's. It's obviously inspired by Slay the Spire. Inspired. So, what am I trying to say? I'm gonna keep playing it. I might try to beat Crucible 15 or whatever the maximum Crucible is. But I'm really, really sad that the game doesn't have certain systems. Like, I really expected there to be a system that allowed you to combine orbs, because the orb properties are just appended. There's a bunch of orbs that have multiple orb properties anyway, and so this system would be trivial to implement, and it would make the game outrageously more fun if you could customize your orbs on that level. But you don't seem to be able to. Your orbs are like your deck. They are like your loadout, your character loadout. Anyway, I'll show off the game now. I'll just get into it, and I'll discuss things that are disappointing to me as I go. So we're playing the basic Peglin loadout, which means I've got a bunch of pebbles and a dagger to start with. All attacks +1/+0. This is actually way more powerful than it sounds, because it's for every peg that you hit. And the orb discards is also a little more powerful than it sounds, because it allows you to shuffle to get to the powerful orbs more quickly. I think we're gonna go ambidexterity, because it allows me to. I mean, I like to have fun with builds, and it facilitates that, because you can get to the orbs that you want to use more quickly. So you have these pinballs. This is basically your loadout, your deck over here. You have a number of discards. You can right click to discard, and you've got the stats of whatever pinball you happen to be throwing. You can check your deck like this. For some reason, escape brings up the menu over this rather than back, and you actually have to use the backspace key on the keyboard to get back out of those menus. You got enemies up over here. You throw your pinball. And it's I guess this the native game here. It's not pinball. It's pachinko. But I've never played pachinko, so I'm going to keep saying pinballs, which is going to piss off anybody who actually plays that game probably. Anyway, you hit these crits, and it deals the crit damage, which is this related stat on the pinball. Or you hit any regular peg. The ones with gold will release a gold, which gives you gold. It's pretty good. We are going to. I'll just start showing it off, I guess. So I find the physics a little counterintuitive, in the sense that typically when you are throwing your peb balls or your pinballs or whatever out, they tend to be like either bouncier or less bouncy than you would expect, depending on what they're hitting. These first couple of levels, what you realize really, really quickly is that these guys actually are trivial in that they don't really provide any threats. So this is when I initially got excited about the game. Was I saw this dag orb, and I realized, like, oh, they're actually carefully not carefully balancing, but they are capitalizing on like the different range of stats here. So like this orb, when you throw it, you definitely want to hit a crit peg with it, because and I probably won't. There we go. No, I thought it kept exciting me. Anyway, if you don't hit a crit peg with this, it does very little damage. But if you hit a crit peg, it does like more than twice what the peb ball does. So let's see. And bombs are also really powerful. The bomb pegs by default just deal. They have to be hit twice in order to activate. Once they activate, they clear off the board, and then they've got to and then they deal 50 damage per bomb to all enemies on the board, which is not just a lot at the start of the game, but a lot all the way through the game. Which is part of what I find disappointing about this game, is that it really seems to be pretty easy. It's big, only hits enemies on the ground. This is the first time I've seen the Bold Orb. Only hits enemies on the ground, and attacks pierce all enemies, and it's got like stats that are slightly better than. So you can upgrade your orbs just like you would upgrade cards in a deck builder. This doesn't look particularly. Doesn't look. So upgrades each peg hit. +1 damage each. So I'm pretty sure the peg upgrades are permanent. So if you were to do, if you get some kind of like ability to float your orb quite a bit or keep it on the board for a long time, this can be quite good. But it's honestly not, it's not nearly as reliable as the muscle buff that they give you, which is also plus damage. And I think it needs some support tech. Reorganizers, shuffle. Here's the Jag Orb. I think we're actually good on all of this, to be perfectly frank. And so afterwards you get to choose your path. So you have your map here. You have nodes just like Slay the Spire. And so you've got your events. This is a shop icon. This is an elite, and relics function almost identically to the way that they do in Slay. But you choose your path by throwing your pinball down the opening at the bottom here. And you can manage. You can, if you drop down to the burning hole, you damage yourself. You take a little bit of self damage, like 2 self damage. And if you hit those pegs that are left over, you can collect some gold before traversing. From seemingly nowhere, an inferno ignites to circle around you. There are 2 fireballs bouncing and circling around each other in the center of the ring. So the fireballs are actually pretty excellent. So I'm just going to grab 2 of them because they are considerably better than the basic pebble attacks. Let me see. So I could get a shop here and then a relic here. If I immediately beeline it this way, then I can get an elite, which gives you a relic, and then a shop. But going this way, I also get a shop and an elite. And to be honest, I can also get a shops are better later. Like, the later I can take them, the better. But there are no other shops. I'll probably have enough gold to make this worth it anyway. And I can get a triple relic here. And just go get a relic here, beat this elite, and then get a relic here. That'll probably wind up fairly strong after that. That's another thing, is the design of the relics kind of makes it so that you just sort of want relics. Like, they're all so positive and not especially specialized that it almost feels like most of them can just be collected on any build, which is a little disappointing. So the Inferno Orbs deal 2 self-damage when fired, but they detonate the fireballs in 1 hit, and they're lighter than other orbs, so that's kind of means that they're bouncier, and they deal a little more damage than your basic pebbles. So they're better, but they do self-damage. The good news is that there are a lot of methods to heal yourself in this game, so as dangerous as self-damage sounds to any aficionado of the rogue-like genre, it winds up just not being that bad. Wow, how did I avoid all those bombs, huh? Let's see, the crit shuffles on every... So can I hit that crit? Oh, I really thought I would. Okay, so you can discard every turn, right? So I can discard this peb ball and just throw straight down at the bomb and try to hope that I hit the second bomb as well. I did not, but that's okay. This guy will die and I will be able to hit the second bomb. Hopefully I draw a fireball straight up. Nope, not quite. So it's time to try to actually accrue some damage. There we go. Okay. So managing to collect gold as we battle monsters. When they land in this spot, they'll attack me. Like this one will attack me next turn if I don't kill it. So it's pretty straightforward stuff. Okay. Well, not great, but still enough to keep me safe. Because then everybody has to basically get in a queue and stand in a line behind the guy that's blocking them before they hit me if they want to hit me. Uh-oh. Well, that was a huge bummer. Although this guy does have like a ranged attack. Like if they're standing there, the guys behind the front guy will use their ranged attack. Alright, and you can heal after each battle, which basically makes it means that you can sacrifice a little bit of HP per battle. Refreshes the board when this orb leaves the pegboard. That and what do we have? It gets up there to dealing a decent amount of damage. The cauldron bubble is actually pretty good. Like it's basically incredible. The 3 bulwark for every 14 hit. If you were to upgrade this, you get it per lowers the amount of pegs required to generate bulwark. Bulwark is just barrier. It's just shield. It's block in Slay the Spire. So I think what I'm gonna do is grab the cauldron bubble. Because this is the best Spinfection orb that I have seen in the game. And Spinfection can actually be quite powerful if you get it online, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it twice. Probably a little wasteful since the I could have waited until next combat. Oh no, I forgot to check what that was doing to my gold. So I'm going to end up in the shop with nothing to do because I got 12 gold. So this is what we're looking at. Inferno or bicycle, ice circle. They have terrible puns. On every item, basically. 30 gold to remove an orb, which is probably the most appealing option in the shop anyway. So down here, I think I'm actually going to try to go left here and dip over here for this relic before coming back to the elite, because relics are so powerful. You really kind of have to be careful trying to go down a specific path after some of these events, because it can actually be quite hard to get your ball to fall in the proper hole, basically. Okay, so a bunch of enemies this time. Gonna try to cycle through these relatively quickly and maybe. Uh-oh. Well, I dug a little hole here, so next time I can throw my Inferno Orb down here, and hopefully. Jeez. That's what I mean by it's actually quite difficult to predict where. Yeah, see, but since I ruined all those bombs with that Inferno Orb, the thing about it is that that's going to wipe out the entire fight, because all those bombs do 50 damage to all enemies each. Now I didn't get much gold out of that, so I probably could have used to hold. I really like Ball Lightning. It basically chains its damage to nearby pegs on every hit. And so that's really, really good. But I can try to farm a little bit of... is this going to damage me? Really? When I throw it? No, okay. So it's only during combat. Oh, that's right. It's because I throw myself. So we're going to get the relic here. It's really good. I get to pick one of two. Detonates bombs in one hit all the time. But I already have 2 Inferno Orbs. Enemies don't get their extra turns for your first reload. I mean, this is still better. honestly, even though I already have Inferno Orbs. It feels like a waste, but... So I can get another relic here. Uh-oh, this guy's an asshole. We're gonna go straight for the Inferno Orb because I gotta deal damage quickly because this guy's a douchebag. And because my Cauldron Orb, Cauldron Bubble, actually random way down on my draw here, so I can hit with this time, so I'm tempted to nail the crit and try to go for that refresh orb. Uh-oh. Yeah, that was a terrible waste. Yeah, this guy could kill me pretty easily, actually. The game has generally been pretty easy, but the problem is that if you don't get something online pretty quickly. So I'm going to just churn through my deck searching for this Cauldron Bubble there. So this will apply Spinfection X. So this will do 20 damage. There we go. And then it's going to do 10 damage next turn. When you get that fully upgraded, you can actually deal some pretty massive damage. It does 10 damage per instance of Spinfection. So there we go. That'll do it. Hopefully I will not die. Yeah, there we go. So the elite fights can be kind of scary if you're caught with your pants down entirely. Gosh, I would really like to get Spinfection fully online, but the honest truth is that like you really only need the one orb, and I probably want to heal here. And I guess I could see myself like picking up one buckle orb. Just because having bulwark generally is really, really good. It's just I don't know. I think with the healing will be fine. Every 4 shots starts with +1 multi-ball. Okay, so that's probably my 4th attack. It's like I've got to release a pinball to trigger an increment there. Puppet, prevent the first time you would lose health each battle. All attacks have Echo 10. I think this is probably the most powerful out of these. They are very powerful, like generally very powerful. I actually don't really think that I care all that much which path I take. I think the right one is preferable anyway. Like minorly preferable. So I think they're pretty much even beyond this point. Every reload grants +2 must circle. Really? That's crazy. Wall bounces contribute to damage. So I'm going to get this, and we're just going to try to shrink our deck. There are quite a few events that will take your deck and reduce the number of your loadout. Where the sun shines through brightly. Take a moment to rest. What happens? What's the question mark? Strong monster. Okay, I don't mind that because I would... Oh, it's this guy again. Alright. Let's try to hit that crit. No! Really? Oh, that's such a bummer. I might still... Nope. What a bummer. I feel ripped off. Here we go. So 70 damage there. I'll try to hit that reload so that I can get a slightly better attack next turn, basically. What I will do is I will discard 2 to... I'm going to take a hit here. Oh, no, he's just winding up. He's charging his laser. And I can continue to discard here. This should hit the crit. So that was my 4th orb. So that's, you can see the multi-ball. It basically split my pinball in 2. I want to continue to increase the cauldron bubble, but for now I think that... oh, come on. Oh, really? What? Oh, 130? Wait, what? How did that happen? See, I have ball lightning now. Which I really... I think I really want. You got to pay attention to these small symbols as well. I did not notice at first, but some orbs come upgraded. So this is a Nimball 2 specifically. I think I'm going to pick up the ball lightning just because it is so damn good. And what I can do is I will just upgrade it twice. And it's going to scale really well with Musk Curl. Oh god. The puns are very painful. Whenever you defeat a non-minion enemy, gain 1 max health. Thanks for letting me watch. I gotta go for a bit. I hope your grandpa's doing it. Oh, he is. Hey, thank you for remembering that. By the way, it's a small detail. I guess I probably talked about it a lot, but we are still here and we are still doing that thing, and it's likely that I'll get called away at some point because I'm living here in Florida with my girlfriend, taking care of my grandfather. And thank you for stopping by again. And sorry for those of you on the YouTube replay, but I'm talking to Twitch chat. The thing that I wanted to say was you probably showed up because you had been watching my Serial playthroughs. I am interested in going back to Serial at some point and continuing that stream. I've actually been kind of getting the itch to do that, so maybe I will do that at some point. And so if you're interested in that, I guess let me know and keep an eye out, because I may go back to that at some point to satisfy that itch. I was playing a little Dota 2 as well. I know Aston used to stop by and he was talking about that a lot. Bag of orange pegs. Attacks get an increasing damage multiplier based on the number of empty pegs. That's really interesting. I wonder if it's 1% per empty peg. This is probably going to be what we do. Whenever you see a non-minion enemy, gain a max health. Max health is just not that valuable. Get max health, increase the amount gained by 1. See, like, if I could get both of these at once, but I'm just definitely going to orange pegs. It's not, so we'll do that. Very straightforward decision, I think. Building a powerful loadout in this game is really straightforward and kind of brain dead, and it's probably, like, I was excited when I saw what sort of things they were doing initially, and then when I realized, like, that the like, your archetype just starts coming online by the time there's 3 levels, 3 floors you descend, and then there's a boss. Oh, I should have discarded a couple. Failed to activate that bomb miserably. That's okay. Shit happens. I'm just going to go ahead and discard down to the cauldron bubble. See, here I can just throw out the bomb. And the bomb will deal 50. I'm actually going to wind up doing quite a bit anyway, apparently. Because of the multi-ball. But the bombs are just going to kill everything, and then this is going to put 30, 20, 10, so 60 damage on that guy. And now we can just do this with with the lightning orb, the ball lightning, which is just ridiculously good. So if I have the muscle curl buff, it'll give me like plus on each of those pegs that it zaps, and I think that's probably going to be the way to go. Okay, so see, this is nice. I can get Spinfection online pretty easily just doing this, honestly. I'm going to upgrade that at least the one time, because otherwise it just does nothing. And so we want to go down this route here, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. We'll see. Okay, that's preferable. Taking 2 damage there is preferable to going down the wrong path here, because these events could potentially remove cards from my deck, which is I feel a little deck bloated at the moment. Place on the altar and duplicate an orb. That's like, at this point I could duplicate either of these orbs and feel pretty good about it. I think we're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to bank on doing Spinfection things now, because Spinfection, once it's online, gets pretty powerful. It would be better if I was if I was playing the other loadout, like the second character. It's not a character, in my opinion. And I'm actually super disappointed in the way that they implemented the unlockable characters. You're just clearing that is unusually slimy. You progress cautiously, but still lose your step. 3 orbs fall into the slime, and you only have 2 hands. Which one do you let sink into the slimy abyss? Which one? Well, we let the peb ball sink at this point. Actually, I picked up those Inferno Orbs, and so I want to keep them, but like peb balls are almost equally good now, except for the Inferno Orbs. Yeah, yikes, we're actually going to let the Inferno Orb sink, because it's self-damage. I don't have any self-damage tech. This guy, okay, this is interesting. We don't want to start out with this orb. Can I hit a crit? I don't think I can hit a crit from here. So we're basically just going to throw a pebble. This guy will progress toward me and eventually consume me and start doing more damage per turn, but I can what I can do is I can put some Spinfection on him, and that will help. That should help quite a bit. Let's see. So we got the multi-orb there. If we're lucky, we'll get this. Nope, not gonna get the crit. That's okay, but that will stack. So that's 2 bombs, so it'll stack another 3 Spinfection on him. So 4 Spinfection, and we are on our way. I like what they've done with the boards, the peg boards for the. So I'm gonna reload for Muscircle here. It actually caused all of his Spinfection to wear off, though. I'm gonna need an individual Spinfection applicator, because right now what's happening is that this is just not enough by itself, unfortunately. I'm gonna need like one of the daggers or the wizard hat or whatever. There's a couple orbs that apply Spinfection, because this is mostly good for. I mean, if I could shrink the deck enough, I could potentially get it consistent enough to be doing something good. But at this point, I really just want to farm some gold, if I can. There we go. It's a pretty good board. So the peg boards, the boss peg boards, do something to like. They all aesthetically kind of resonate with what kind of boss you're fighting. So that one there, you can see the silhouette of the slime in the pegboard, and then once he swallows you, you start inside his slime silhouette on the pegboard. And they all do cute little things like that. That's pretty nice. +1, +2 for each Peb ball in your deck attacks all enemies. The Orbalisk. Whew, that's a spicy meatball. Holy cow. Nah. It's targeted column, unfortunately, so it's just the vertical stacking where like you'll have a flying enemy and a ground enemy in the same column. If it was Pierce, you know, that would be a different story. Signal boost would be affected by the must circle twice, but I think unfortunately at this point I'm just gonna have to like pass on all that stuff. I could continue to upgrade that, but I think it's doing what it's doing well enough for the time being, and I'm really just gonna have to bank on like shrinking my deck somehow. All attacks have -2, -3 at every peg activated gets upgraded. +2 damage. Nah. I mean, that could work. That could work with the refresh with the lightning orb, but I don't think so. I think it's a little risky. Randomly adds 2 orbs to your deck and then randomly upgrades orbs 4 times. You no longer obtain gold from these, but your current shot's total damage is dealt to the target enemy every 3 gold you collect. Huh. The fact that that allows you to apply your damage multiple instances per orb is very, very nice. Every shot has +1 multi-ball, but attacks get -2, -2. Now that could work. Unfortunately, multi-ball doesn't like affect the number of times that it hits. I don't actually like any of these. I don't like any of them. I'm just gonna skip. I'm trying to craft the loadout here. Here we kind of want, so we want shops. There's 2 shops on the left side here. We want shops and we want, so question mark. Yeah, this is definitely the path to go. And we actually dip in here to get an extra combat because why wouldn't you? And then shop, and yeah, that's, so provided we can get everything that we want, this is a really, really nice map. So we got multi-ball there. So, okay, I see. It actually maintains the, it stacks in between combats. That's fascinating. I didn't think it would do that. There we go. We've got the Cauldron Bub Ball. I will just try to get some gold as I go here, because I'm going to need a lot of gold if I'm going to hit enough shots to really thin my deck enough to make this Spinfection thing happen. Much easier to make Spinfection happen with the relic that you start with on the round roll. Oh no, I missed the bomb. I don't want to hit that refresh because if I, oh no, I missed again. If I hit that refresh, I won't be able to, so I'm going to have to hit this bomb, which means I'm going to have to pass a timing check. There we go. I didn't want to hit the refresh because I want to be able to just choose the left path. Eviscerate. Multi-ball. See, what I expected when I started seeing stuff like this was I expected there to be a system that allowed you to fuse your orbs eventually. I was like, that's definitely going to happen because look at this. Like, I expected like blacksmith kind of nodes to happen on the scene on your branching tree for your progression, and for you to just be able to like stop in and like smash orbs together if you wanted to. And I expected there to be like an opportunity cost to doing that, and that would have been really, really good and exciting for me. But it was not meant to be, I guess. Gains +1 each time you lose health through self-damage this battle. How high does that go? That's actually really not very good. See, the orbs are just poorly balanced. Like, there's some decent ideas, but like this thing should upgrade for the lost health through self-damage. Surely, because this effect is just not all that impactful, right? Like, the ways to lose self-damage are like through a trigger on a relic, through like throwing Inferno Orbs, through throwing your orb down a fiery pit. There don't seem to be that many ways to trigger self-damage at this point. And so like if they're treating this is a very like modest kind of number, right? Like the scaling, the way they've set this up is pretty modest, and it's like that could be exciting if that number went up when you upgraded it, but it's just not exciting at all at the 1/1 kind of number that it's at. So we're not going to fuck around with trying to get gold here, because I just really want to make sure I'm on the right path. Because if I don't thin the deck at this point, I'll probably lose. I don't think the game is all that hard, but I don't want any of these. So these are all orbs at the bottom, and my deck is already too fat. So I don't have to take this. I can just back out. This guy, if you sacrifice HP, you always get the same relic, which is the gambling chip that he's flipping there. And the gambling chip just, as a relic, just makes oh no. Oh no. Oh, you see? So now I skip this relic, unfortunately. I get 2 basic combats instead, which are probably not going to help me, but I can farm more gold this way. So I can make sure that I get... you can't get more than 1 removal per shop, unfortunately, but it'll be fine. Oh, I should have definitely just discarded... Oh, yeah, especially because this guy starts right in my face. Whoops. That's okay. For as messily as I'm playing, the game is just not... I don't think it's that hard, so it's just not going to... I'm not going to get punished, probably. We'll see. I mean, like I said earlier, you can get yourself into some hot water, but it's not... it's not the kind of scary that you typically see in roguelikes if you play sloppily, which I'm fine with. I just... I wish there were a little bit more expressive play space for that. Because it's like, if you're going to give me that much latitude, I at least want to be able to do something fun with my loadout. Very weak regular attack, massive damage on crit, pierce 1 enemy. Okay. Yeah, I don't need any of this. I don't even need to heal, honestly. I can just collect gold here, since I don't care about 2 health loss. I mean, didn't get that much, but you can try. You know, the big picture decision making is pretty straightforward. Let's see. We're just gonna go ahead like this. This lightning orb is tremendous at the moment. I'm gonna probably hit all of these bombs. Nope. That's actually better than if I had hit them all, because if I'd hit them all right away, they wouldn't hit these upcoming monsters, which you have to worry about. So these guys will all advance, and these upcoming monsters will generate. And it's kind of a pain in the ass if you detonate all your bombs or whatever before you have the chance to, or before the turns where they generate. So these guys all have stacks of Spinfection on them. It's, like I said, really, really good. I'm actually going to go ahead and double the stacks of Spinfection on this guy. I'll target this guy with double orb, It's like double boil and trouble, like the cauldron bubble. It's these puns are mind numbing. So I got the multi-orb relic went off on that one, so I got more damage than I otherwise would. This guy will die this turn because of that, which is pretty nice. And what I can do is I can go ahead and just throw my cauldron bubble orb, which is going to put more Spinfection on everybody. The cauldron bubble is very good for clearing out like large groups of basic combat enemies. Not so good at the elite combats. Wow, right back to the dag orb. Okay. Oh, I can actually continue to discard if I want. No, because I can discard 2 next turn and just use the ball lightning and then just throw it down at the. Oh, you know what? I bet I can just. Yep. I don't want to be too frisky about this is the thing, because I don't want to take a bunch of damage unnecessarily. It wouldn't be, it honestly wouldn't be a bunch, it wouldn't be that much for sure, but. So, and now I can just do this again anyway, so. I was just hoping to get some fairly decent gold by throwing that over there. Swashbuckle orb. It's gold collected from the hit gold pegs contributes an additional 1x damage. See, now this is an example of like they did well with this. It's like this is always tempting to me to get this because the effect scales rather than just the basic ass damage. And Ek Orb is pretty good. I just did a run where, and this is just the multi-ball variant of like a dag orb, basically, as far as I can tell. I wish that multi-ball scaled on any of these, because right now your only multi-ball scaling option is relics, and it's just kind of boring because of that. It's like, okay, well, you know, I want to build a deck around that option. It seems like an archetype that's being oh well. It seems like an archetype that's being telegraphed and not consummated, which it's a personal pet peeve of mine when games do that. Spinfectious Sting, there it is. I should probably get that, huh? The board will contain an additional refresh. All attacks get +1/+0. Immune to attack damage while reloading. That's pretty good, because I've got the reload charm there. I have a discard and I have dumbbell, so. And I'm kind of pulling the deck in 2 directions if I do that, but I think we're going to go ahead and grab the Spinfectious Dagger, remove an orb. We'll remove the other Inform Orb. I'm kicking myself for having taken that event. And we'll go ahead and grab that, because I think that's got the most scaling potential. And now we just have to make sure that we collect this combat here so that we can have a little gold to spend on that shop. Enemies don't get their extra turns for your first reload. Post-battle healings increased by 1% for each orb in your deck. Nah. We're going to go decoy orb. Sounds like we're slowly but surely building a reload deck. I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that it feels like okay, well my archetype is sure to come online relatively soon, right? Like at some point my archetype is going to show up. Like at some point I will have put enough love into building synergies that the deck will come online in that way. And it does, and it does, and then you're very close to the end of the game usually. Or that's been my experience so far. It's like, I really wish that it feels like the game should continue for a while is what it feels like. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. It feels like the game should continue for a while after that point. It's not like, well, this is kind of disappointing. I'd actually rather throw a Pebble in this situation, I think. Oh no, that was terrible. Yeah, this will work. Probably should have discarded 2 and thrown the cauldron bubble, honestly. I'm just trying to collect gold at this point. Like, I honestly don't care how long the combat goes, as long as I collect the gold. You have fast forward options, by the way, which I haven't really been utilizing, and which would make the combats, you know, a little bit smoother, I think. So I probably should. Let's see if we can get just a bit more gold out of here, huh? I'd really like to. 76. So I will at least get the remove from the shop, which is what I'm aiming for at this point. All right, and another Spinfection sting. It's gonna start running me quite a lot of. See, I would just want to shrink my deck at this point. I don't want to bloat. Just want to shrink. So we're just gonna throw to the left here. Not gonna mess with that because we really want that shop remove. The board contains an additional crit and bombs deal plus 10 damage. Like, either of these is kind of take it or leave it at this point. They're only good, though, as far as I can tell. So you do take one. So is there anything good enough that I would ever take it over a remove? That's okay. And this could be good on that kind of reload deck that I'm talking about, but right now I'm kind of a Spinfection reload hybrid, seemingly. So I'm just going to remove an orb. Dag orb is actually almost less appealing than a pebble at the moment, but we'll take the pebble. Because I just took the extra crit relic on the board, so yeah, that's okay. So I could throw this at this guy, but I think it's actually more valuable, strictly speaking, to throw the double-double. And we'll just trigger that crit so that does a little bit more flat damage. Yeah, and we can skip these and refresh the board, and then this lightning ball will probably do a ton of damage. Not bad, you know? Like, as soon as some synergies start to come online, you're pretty safe. Like, the loadout starts playing itself pretty quickly. I'm gonna have to do just a little more work to get things online here. Like, I really wish that I could do things like combine, like, orbs that say hits all enemies with the, like, double-double that doubles Spinfection, for example. But even the ones that exist right now don't work properly. Like, there's an orb that says that it applies your hit to multiple enemies. The next orb that you fire, it applies your hit to multiple enemies, right? That's what it says. And if you use that with the double Spinfection orb, or the Spinfection application, I actually used it with the wizard hat specifically. I don't remember what that orb is called, but you'll apply 2 Spinfection to everybody instead of 6, was what was happening. And so I can't help but think that's probably broken in some way. I'm trying to decide. I think it's going to be worth it to have this for the boss just in case. And we'll go ahead and upgrade. And then, there we go. Bombs apply Spinfection when damaging enemies. That's really, really good. And then I will try to aim for a relic like that. Just trying to get a little bit of extra gold, basically. I don't mind the self-damage. It's pretty minor. So let's hope that we get a removal. So I can remove, or I can upgrade, or I can duplicate a cauldron bubble. Duplicating a cauldron bubble sounds acceptable, but I think we'll actually get more, statistically speaking, on a draw, we're going to get more value out of removing a pebble at this point. So we've got the ball lightning, cauldron bubble. This throw I want to use the ball lightning because I think I can wind up doing a lot of damage this turn. But this is where, like, this boss has 3000 HP. This is where stuff starts to really get frisky. So, and he confuses me on hit, so. I don't really care so much about putting poison on all the enemies that are out there right now. I'm happy to let him exist, I think. So what I want to do is I want to put a stronger poison on the boss, which this will do. And then we want to double it. So, like this. Oh god. Well, it still doubles the Spinfection. And then we just want to keep stacking it. If we miss stacking a Spinfection turn, we are going to be very sad. Ticks down 1 a turn, so 17, and it'll tick down right away. And now we're just going to play it like this. We're just going to keep stacking our Spinfection. Every turn, we're going to bring it up. Oh god. It's pretty painful. I'm actually going to throw the dagger this turn because, oh no. I'm hoping to keep this guy alive because this will clear them out. Okay. Now we can double this again. That's going to help. There we go. 740 damage. Adds a mouse circle 1 every 3 times the board is refreshed while the orb is in flight. Now see, that's the sort of thing that won't scale every 1 time. Well, it does actually. That's pretty powerful, honestly, and I would probably get it if I had not decided to go Spinfection here. So we're just going to make that orb a little bit better, just because we're aiming to use it constantly. Orbs get +2, +4, but you can only aim in 4 directions. Yeah, it's not good for here. +2 multi-ball. Start twice as many gold, but all purchases are twice expensive. That's not good. I don't think that's good. Okay, so pegs and bombs become weak magnets, and refreshes and crits become strong magnets. Yeah, that's good. Trigger that. No problem. So we completed that was the second tier, right? Now we're going to go through again. This is Crucible 2 again, by the way, I think. So it's not even like base game difficulty is less than this. You start with 1 less peb ball and mini bosses are weaker or something. See this cauldron stuff, like right away if I want to put this on, I can start stacking it. These black holes draw your balls in, but you're going to see that the physics on my ball is actually super screwed up now because I've got the magnet effect. So it's like it treats bombs and crits and refreshes all as though they have like some kind of weird gravity. So, or magnetism, I guess is what it calls it. So this more than doubles the Spinfection on this one guy, but this guy's got more health, and if I just skip this, I can double this guy's Spinfection. I think we can do that. There we go. That bomb was a nice touch. So now this guy will die for sure, and if I just throw this out there, then this turn probably they're all dead. Balancing Spinfection on people. Like there are some fun mechanics happening here. You know what I mean? This is why I was saying, like, the game feels like it should be should have more depth than it winds up feeling like it does. Ready for them to hire me as a balance dev, guys. Count orb attack. Base damage increases the more you take in this battle. Damage multiplier increases at higher orb levels. I mean, it comes at level 2. I wish it told me. The fact that it doesn't tell you the numbers and there's no, like, I can't hold Alt for an extended tooltip or anything like that. There's a lot of, like, the game needs a bit more polish as well. I don't mind those things. In an early access game, I'm not going to really grouse. Like, there's no heart in my griping there. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not really gonna. There's no substance to my griping or my grousing in that case, because really, like, it's an early access game, and tooltips are one of those things that are constantly changing throughout development, obviously, and they're not really super high priority. Not for early development, at the very least. And so what I'm trying to say is that, like, I'm very likely to forgive something like that, whereas getting this first is just not all that much fun. But it actually does a lot more than my tag orb anyway. So I ought to just shuffle and throw. Plus, shuffling more per turn is better with the relic that gives me the muscle buff on reload. So, and if you notice, the board is mirrored here, and that's the gimmick that these mirrors. So that wasn't a projectile attack anyway. So it mirrors the pegs destroyed. That's the gimmick of the board representing these mirror characters. And I really like that they do cute things like that. I'll continue my thought. What I'm less inclined to forgive during development is this fundamental stuff. Like systems that just feel like they should be here and aren't. For example, convert every 8 hits to a bomb. Now, if I had the bomb implies Spinfection, or not implies, but applies Spinfection, I would try to take that probably. But for now, I got Jack. So let's actually reference the map here before we make a dumb decision. So I think we're gonna go to the left here. Go to the left. We'll get a guaranteed relic. We'll try to get another relic, and then we'll guaranteed remove an orb from our deck. At which point I can guaranteed remove, and then we're probably just going to beeline it to the other shop and remove again, because this deck is just going to get more and more powerful. The smaller that it gets. It's going to operate more consistently. Oh no, it's really difficult to guarantee that I go this way. This is a really, really good relic. This is one of the best relics in the game, in my opinion. So after you're navigating, you can just kind of hang out and hit pegs and regenerate health, and you don't risk taking damage from the fire holes either. After combat, it's really just a hugely powerful. Oh no! Come on, let's go down this way. This is what we want. Yes. It's a hugely powerful relic. I think it's like almost like an auto pickup every time, unless you see something that's very specific for your build. Wow. Yeah, I'd say let's attack supply Spinfection too, huh? Okay. Well, we've got the build online now, basically. So at least this will be a good build showcase for the video once we're settled on that. I'm just going to go ahead and use this to apply multiple Spinfections. We'll start the crit. It multi-balls because of the dumbbell, not the dumbbell relic, the duplication station relic. Okay. And then we're going to apply some Spinfection, and that applied 10 Spinfection. Jeez. That's crazy. So I guess we'll just double this now. Just double our Spinfection. No problem. Because it was 4 bombs as well. So I'm applying a ton of Spinfection now. There we go. I'd say the build's online, fellas. I'm gonna have to heal after this combat, though. Kind of unfortunately in need of healing. Trigger crit 6 hits up to 10 hits. Nah. Reorganizers are pretty nice. I hear there's some builds with that going on. I caught a little bit of chat in the Peglin general on the Discord. Peglin. Oh yeah, hey, Sil, have you played this game? It's pretty interesting. I was really disappointed after being really excited. This basically has been my experience with it. I'm just doing playthroughs, racking up Crucible at this point. I watched somebody else play it a lot. Well, the game is not very difficult, which is fine. I don't really crave a whole lot of like straight up traditionally defined difficulty, but it's been a lot of updates. Yes, they are actively updating it, and so I'm looking forward to it because the game is suffering right now really badly from early accessitis. Like, they released it early. It really was early access. Because right now there are only 3 floors and your build is just starting to come online. And where the hell is the system that lets me append orb properties onto each other, like fuse orbs? That needs to be a thing. It needs to be a thing. Anyway, when applying negative statuses to the enemy, increase the amount applied by 1. Wow. 2 gold under the board's refreshed. Yeah, we're going to go with Mask of Sorrow. We are Spinfection. We are Spinfection the build, and we're just going to go ahead and skip the gold acquisition phase here because I want to remove an orb really badly at this point. Start each battle with a must circle, heal 2 every time the board is refreshed. I mean, that's quite good. But it really doesn't matter. Really, the most important thing at this moment is just that I get rid of these orbs that aren't allowing me to apply Spinfection. So if I remember correctly, what I was saying is we're going to go... Actually, this doesn't matter. Yeah, we're just going to go to the... We're going to go to the right here. It does matter. We're going to go down here, and then we're going to get a relic, and then we're going to remove 1 more orb. So you have to be quite careful about this. So still, I bought, like, I don't know, $150 worth of games for the Steam Summer Sale, over the Steam Summer Sale, and that's more money than I've ever fucking spent on video games my whole life. So I'm probably going to play some of the games that I bought on Steam and talk about game design, because I'm also working on developing Gaming Godot. And actually, things are coming along. I'm making real progress, and I feel like... for a guy who started out knowing absolutely nothing about programming, in particular, I think I'm doing okay. And I am finally starting to feel that I can program. Like, that's the big achievement, is like, not only do I not have nearly the academic math chops that would be required for, like, game deving, but, so I started kind of disadvantaged because of less of the math education. I'm trying to catch up in that regard and then learn some web programming and some game programming. Like, I'm programming the whole thing in GDScript, but I've actually got some stuff together. I can make things happen in Godot, and it's, although that seems like a really, oh god, we actually have to try to get this right over there. Oh, come on. There we go. Doing okay is good. Yeah, that's... I hope you're doing okay as well, man. Bomb steal plus 10 damage, and we want to target bombs because of Spinfection. At that point, we probably... So we'll get the bomb steal plus 10 damage. We'll aim for something else that lets us reproduce bombs. Because, like, the shop might contain one of those orbs that lets us generate bombs. Splat orb. Extra bouncy and durable. That is really not what we wanted. So we're going to remove an orb. (20 times number of reloads). See, this is really good for us now because there's such a small loadout. Upgrade or remove? Let's remove. Let's remove our final shitty orb. But yeah, I have been making a bit of progress on my own development project, and it is a roguelike auto-battler party builder. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, I feel that I can mash up those mechanics in a way that is completely synergistic to all of those playstyles, and the game will serve itself. And probably be an amazing game if I can get it implemented. The problem is that I lack the skills to program. I was an artist by trade for 5 years, but lack the skills to program. So, duplicate all orbs or duplicate a random orb. Ah, damn. I wish I could skip this at this point, but I'll duplicate a random orb and hope that it's like, yeah, that's fine. Because I don't want to bloat my deck having just taken the reload relic there. So this is not bad. The ball lightning is actually kind of like give or take at this point. But we'll throw it out there in the hopes of just getting a lot of gold on the first toss here. So there are enemies here that I can't see, and I think this is poorly telegraphed. I think there should be outlines or something like that. The fact that you just can't see these enemies at all is poor game design, in my opinion. It would be okay to be aware of them without knowing what kind of enemies they are. That's the sort of information that you're looking to hide with a blind status. Not that there are enemies at all. Like, why am I seeing this enemy? It just feels inconsistent and stupid, in my opinion. The magnetism relic is doing a lot of work at the moment. We'll just throw out another cauldron bubble. And I think at this point, everything should be dead here. When it ticks down. It should tick down, everything should die. Yeah. But really? That's not the last of it? Okay. Bring it on. Stacking Spinfection means you're dealing a lot of damage by a certain number of turns in. So that's the last guy there, so he'll get 6 extra Spinfection, and that's got to be it, man. Yeah, 420, there we go. The best number to win on, obviously. I am going to heal, because there's really not much else to do at this point. Activate nearby pegs when refresh. Activate nearby pegs when hit. That's really good. For the first time, you'd lose health each battle. Deal 1 damage to the target for every the targeted enemy for every 2 pegs activated. That's really good. Like, that's crazy. I wonder if there's a way to activate. See here, I can just farm HP now, and maybe even a little bit of gold. Because like if it winds up going down the fire, because the super speed boots relic, right? Just super boots, I guess. I don't have to worry about self damage. Here I definitely use this because it's gonna now deal a huge amount of damage, right? And the magnetism again doing a lot of work. throw a bunch of bombs out there. Things just dying instantly. This is what I mean about the game becoming kind of like not as challenging as you would expect. Not as challenging and not quite as interesting. Like, my deck archetype just came on, and the game is not going to scale up in any way for me to flex this. Like, I would like to see like another act or 7, because just as your deck starts coming online, the enemies stop scaling and the game ends. Really, like, this is the final act of the game. So this looks like a new boss that I have never seen before. I don't know why I avoided hitting anything on that last end of level. So I don't know what the hell this is. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of 3600 healths here. I think right away I want to start applying Spinfection, but it looks like they're all separate targets. So we want Cauldron Bubble. That's definitely the first play. There we go. Oh no. I would have preferred, so that stacked a whole bunch of Spinfection right away, which is really nice. So I think one of them did some kind of healing effect. This could do conceivably a lot of damage, because it does 1 damage to all enemies, or it's only a target enemy actually. Should have realized that. So this guy's now got lower HP than everybody else. I could double one target's health, or I could just try to activate all these bombs. I meant double 1 target's Spinfection debuff. Excuse me. I'm trying to think and speak at the same time, and my brain just is having none of it. And then yeah, we just do this again. Why not, right? Got the multi-orb that time, and we're probably going to we got another bomb, and we're gonna just stack a ton of Spinfection. So these guys are gonna each take what, like 560 damage. So my health is getting pretty low though. That's okay. We can try to activate another couple of bombs. Just 1 bomb and some Spinfection. Oof. Close. We're so how do we want this to happen? There we go. That was a good toss. I think they're gone. We had 4 HP. Maybe the game's not as easy as I think, huh? So that was Crucible level 3 on the default loadout, building Spinfection, which I actually think is probably a fairly weak archetype in this game. Honestly, I think it's one of the weaker ones because it takes a fairly long time to get rolling, and it's a little bit inconsistent, and it doesn't utilize really any of the board mechanics, although that time I got to see the power of the bomb Spinfection relic, which I think you can play around with to make probably Spinfection decks that are more powerful than just basic applications of like Cauldron Bubble and stuff like that. So I'm tempted to do another run, but I'm thinking I'm just going to separate these by video and upload them to YouTube. So I'm probably going to call the stream there, and maybe I'll go play a different game or something like that, or maybe later on I'll start up a stream and do another run. But I do want to separate these. So that's Peglin, and that's my initial impressions of Peglin. This is my 4th or 5th run. I've won all but 1 run, and you know, it's kind of unusual because I'm the sort of player that feels deeply compelled to mess with interesting mechanics in ways that usually get me killed. So the game is definitely giving new players a significant amount of latitude. So it's not a game for hardcore specifically or exclusively for hardcore gamers. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking of like, should I get Peglin? It's like, well, it's kind of casual. It's got good roguelike and deck builder elements. It's doing really interesting things. I love the core concept of the game. And the core gameplay loop is a tried and tried and true, battle tested. They lifted it from Slay the Spire, right? And they put pachinko mechanics over it, which obviously they know something about and feels very good to play. But for a gamer who wants a deep experience, like a deep strategic experience, and I am among this group, I think that it lacks it really doesn't consummate on what is telegraphing for what you would expect for systems. Given what I know about game dev, which is limited but a good amount in its own way, it would be trivial for them to implement some kind of blacksmith event mechanic, or rest site mechanic even, where, like in Slay the Spire, where you get just a couple of options like the shop, but a different kind of event that you have to balance against choosing, like, to go to a shop node. So there's opportunity cost built in there. That it would be trivial to implement this mechanic where if you could have a choice to upgrade, and the upgrade would be it would either give you an option to append a pre-existing modifier to one of the orbs in your inventory, like one of the orbs that you already have in your loadout, or to fuse to the orbs that you already have and like randomly remove one property, or just something like that. Some like ability to more deeply customize the properties on your balls. Love customizing the balls. Anyway, that's gonna end. That's gonna be the end of this stream. That's my suggestion to the devs. I will record a couple of more runs later. I think that it's a good game. It's worth recommending, but it's in my case, and for players like me, it's probably not worth the price tag right now. And I only paid $15 for the summer sale version, so I don't really recommend buying it if you are into those depthful strategy games, at least not until it comes out of early access, and only if they make some really substantial changes to it for $20. $20 is too much. So anyway, I hope you all had a good time, and I'll see you probably soon.